Thank you. We'll move on to the agenda approval. You have the agenda in front of you. Any additions or corrections that I missed?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to public forum. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and address for the record. Is there anyone here in the audience for public forum tonight? Go ahead. Come on forward and state your name and address, please, so we can get it on the record. Yeah, right up in front.
Glenda Hanson, I live here in Huron.
What's your address?
1025 Lincoln Avenue, Southwest.
1025 Lincoln, okay. And what's your concern tonight, or what's your business?
No, I live over at Newport Estates, and they built those new storage units.
Yes,
And
yes.
they had a meeting a couple of years ago for rezoning to put up storage units there.
Okay,
And I was just curious, they said when they built the last one, they were gonna put up a privacy fence in between there and the apartment buildings, and I'm just questioning
Okay.
when it's gonna be, because there's a lot of traffic from people that are coming through the parking lot, and people have gotten almost hit.
okay, well, that's very good. Thank you for bringing that up. We'll look into our, the variance that it was presented to us on that, and we'll look into that for sure, for sure.
Because I talked to the planning guy, and he was gonna look back at that. And I
Okay.
don't know when we could kind of look at.
Sure. We will, I'll have him, this is Barry Cranston, he is our
I'm the
city
planning
planner.
director, and I don't recall having that conversation, and so but I'll definitely get into it, and I'll look at it, and I'll get right back to you within a day.
Okay.
Yep, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to us, so. Anyone else here for public forum? Oh,
I have something, Mayor.
Commissioner
It's National Newspaper Week, and I just want to give a shout out and say thank you to the Plainsmen for covering what you do and being here for us.
There you go, every week.
Twice a week.
Yeah, twice a week. All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. And tonight, our consent agenda consists of 4.1 minutes of September 29th, 2025. 4.2 personnel items. Number 1, accept the voluntary resignation of Cheryl Kleinsasser, the 911 telecommunicator, effective October 17th, 2025, and advertise to fill this position. Number 2, accept the voluntary resignation of Chloe Authy, police officer, effective November 1st, 2025, and advertise to fill this position. Number 3, approve the employment of Dylan Corcoran for the Parks and Recreation Maintenance 1, effective November 3, 2025, with a 1,400-hour probationary period. And number 5, hire seasonal employees for the open skating season. 4.3, raffle permit submitted by the Salty Sun and Sauna for a New Year, New You package with raffle tickets available October 17th through December 31st, 2025. 4.4, payment of the bills. And 4.5, set October 20th as a public hearing date to transfer application for sale alcoholic beverages from C&K of Huron, doing business Holiday Liquor, to Carlson's Northside Service. That is our consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye.
Mayor, if I may interrupt you.
Sure.
I apologize. I thought this was on the regular agenda, but I do have a public announcement. Can I have a liberty to
I sure
Proclaim
think
that.
we can do that, between the consent and the business.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize.
You're fine.
Just wanted to let everybody know that West Park Avenue from South Dakota Highway 14 to 207th Street will be closed Monday morning, October 13th to Friday, October 17th, while Glacial Lakes Energy is working on the railroad tracks. Please find alternative routes during this temporary closure. The city would like to thank you for your patience and understanding during this construction season, and that is coming from our city engineer, Brett Runge. Again, that's West Park Avenue, Highway 14 to 207th Street, Monday morning, October 13th to Friday, October 17th.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I apologize.
no problem. Thanks for the reminder. Moving on to bid quote items. 5.1, consider request for proposal, project number 2025-06, the Huron Event Center Food and Beverage Management, and set opening for 2 p.m. on October 28th, 2025. Commissioner Smith, would you like to open this up for discussion?
Yes, I'd be happy to. We've had our current vendor at the event center, Top Floor Events. They've been the contract holder since 2016, and we just felt it was time to open that up for requests for proposals for anyone that may be interested in looking at that as an opportunity to run the event center beverage and food distribution for events at the event center. And so it's a request for proposal for providing food for the events, the beverage. It's a 3-year contract offering with annual renewals thereafter. And I think, Brenda, do you have?
No, I think you pretty
Anything?
much summed it up.
And I believe that there's a description of the contract that would be available at the city finance office for vendors that might be interested.
It'll be on our bidding page for the website.
And that successful bidder would start their operation January 1st of 2026.
Okay. Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
I would, yes, thank you. I move to approve the request for proposal offering for the event center.
Second.
Any questions, comments? I know you can, the interested parties can pick up their information, but this is for food and beverage only. It's not lining up the activities. It's not scheduling the activities, so, just so
Correct.
we're aware of that. Roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to 5.2, the next 3 or 4 will be with our engineer department. But consider change order number 1, bid number 2024-02, water main replacement, submitted by Menning Excavating in the amount of $18,105.98, and authorize the mayor to sign. And we have with us tonight from the engineering department, Sean Snodhorst. Would you like to enlighten us on these?
This change order is a sanitary sewer point repair, which was located at 12th Street Northeast and Kansas Avenue. And Menning Excavating was working in the area doing water main replacement, so it just made sense to have them do the work.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any questions for Mr. Schneider? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to 5.3, consider pay request number 1, bid number 2025-04 for the Jersey Avenue drainage submitted by Vanderpool Dragline Incorporated in the amount of $84,866.40. Again, Mr. Schnauders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. This is just a progress payment for the work that's being done on Jersey Avenue. We recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Any questions?
I haven't driven down there. What's the status? Is that still?
Looks good.
They have the culverts in place, and we're not far from blue topping and pavement. However, there's a railroad permit that needs to be processed, so the contractor is held up with that for just a little bit. So hopefully that'll get ran through and we can move forward.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to 5.4, consider pay request number 5 for the final bid number 2024-05, the lift station improvements submitted by TLC Olson Construction in the amount of $5,745. Mr. Snows.
It is what it says. It's the
Okay.
final payment, so we can close this project out.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. And 5.5, consider pay request number 7, bid number 2024-02, water main replacement from Menning Construction in the amount of $953,850.25. Mr. Snow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, once again. This is a progress payment, just an FYI. This is a 3-year project for water main replacement. They are currently about 83% complete, and they should only have one schedule left for water main replacement once they get Maple Drive done. Then we'll just have 4th Street from Dakota Avenue to Illinois Southwest to do next year, and the engineering department recommends approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Thank you, Sean, for pinch hitting tonight. Moving on to petitions and communications. 6.1, public hearing on application for sale of malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine license for the Tap House LLC doing business as The Vault, 79 2nd Street Southwest. Lynn, you have
Yeah,
comments on
thank
this?
you, Mayor. This is for a new license, South Dakota Retail Malt Beverage and South Dakota Farm Wine License. Our office has received no comments, and we recommend approval of the new license. Rex is in the audience if you have any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Welcome aboard.
Been much requested by the citizens, so good to have.
Yep.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions. 7.1, first reading of ordinance number 2276-23-418, yard setbacks, and set second reading for October 20th. City Planner Barry Cranston, would you fill us in?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This ordinance merely clarifies what was previously in code. It talks about when abutting a public alley with a commercial use on one side and another use on the other, there's a required distance, and what this does is this actually cleans that language up and makes it further or easier to understand. The other thing it does, the previous ordinance related to commercial uses, and we changed that to the commercial structure itself. And so, as there is some language in the zoning code that refers to commercial uses such as parking lots and things of that nature. This merely goes on to say that the structure is what we'll be looking at, and then if there is a use for parking, then it would require a 20-foot setback. The second part of this actually just clarifies, there was a error in the previous ordinance. It did not include the language that talked about the rear lot line, or it said, the new language states that where no alley exists, the building may extend to a point that is not greater than 1/2 of the height of the building from the rear lot line, or 12 feet from the rear lot line. We added in whichever is greater, and that was the error in the previous code. That was left out. So it's just a matter of cleanup language in both of these, and so I recommend approval.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
Second.
any more clarification needed here for anybody? Yes, Commissioner Smith.
Sometimes, thank you, Mayor, sometimes the language confuses me a little bit, Barry, so just to be real crystal clear on this. Bullet point 8 concerning the alley, when it says except when abutting a public alley, the distance from the center of the alley to the edge of the commercial structure shall be at least 20 feet, or if there is parking provided along the alley, 20 feet is required. Can you just give me an example of that? So if you have an alley, it's standard, it's going to be 20 feet from the center.
Right, unless, in residential areas, for example, there's a requirement that from your property line, if you're going to enter, for example, a garage, we require that if you're gonna enter perpendicularly, it's a 20-foot setback to allow for that private parking apron.
Okay.
And in this particular issue, the commercial use is just, it wasn't very clear, and we've had a couple questions on it, and so we've had to do some interpretation based on the use and what was a commercial use. And so we thought that this actually cleaned that language up a little bit, because we again used the word structure versus a commercial use, unless it was for parking. That was the basic premise behind changing the ordinance.
Because we had an application like that here about a month or two ago, didn't we?
Yeah, it's
Kind
been
of
a little bit longer than that, I think, but yeah, similar.
Okay. Thank you.
So I hope that answers your question, but
Well-
yeah, it's kind of, what this does is kind of standardize some of the language to an A or B thing, and so.
I anticipate we'll put it to the test in the
Yeah.
next,
We
the
shall
next
find
few
out,
months,
yeah.
so, thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clue.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to departmental items, consider the presentation of the 2024 audit. And with us tonight, we have Rebecca from ELO, and I'll let Pauline, if you want to introduce her, or if you want
Rebecca
to.
Lowing, she is our auditor with ELO. We've been with them now 3 years, I think, and we really appreciate her, and she's going to present you with the findings.
I can read this line for line if you'd like. We can have that like 5 pages long. No?
Rebecca, do you want to come back next year?
Okay. Usually I just start off kind of the table of contents and let you know what parts actually come from us and what part is from your administration. And the reports that we give. We actually are getting 3 different reports from us. One is on the internal control and compliance on other matters based on the audit of financial statements performed in accordance with government auditing standards. That goes over your internal controls and compliance. We don't necessarily give an opinion on that. But if we found anything that we would consider a deficiency, we would write a finding on that and let you know that there's some work that can be done. There's none listed in this report. On the second report, on pages 3 to 5, that's because you spent over $750,000 worth of federal dollars. So you had what we call a single audit or an audit under uniform guidance. the part that kind of summarizes that, again, if we had internal control findings, compliance findings or question costs, that would be another finding. There's nothing like that listed in this report. And the final part, on pages 8 to 9 is the independent auditor's report, and that's where we give an opinion on everything that we call a major fund and, the statements that come up, so you're getting more than one opinion from us on this report. I think it's 13, I have to recount them. I just looked, the kind of work that goes into a government audit. On page 7, we kind of re-summarize everything I just said, that we didn't have any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies on the financial statement part or in the federal awards. We're issuing an unmodified opinion, which is the cleanest opinion you can get. For the federal awards part, we tested catalog numbers 21.027 and 20.106. The entire listing is at the back of this report of all your federal dollars in different programs. The other part that comes along with this, once the audit's done, is we submit it to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse. We certify it, Pauline certifies. We let them know that you got your audit done and what programs we looked at, and if we had any findings, and that was done. And everything behind that really comes straight from the finance office. You'll see there's different financial statements than you probably normally see in your board packets. This page, on page 12 in the management discussion and analysis, kind of gives you a little summary of what's in this one and what's not in this one. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I might have to look and get back to you, or you read it tonight and something's just burning, you can sure email me.
Just kind of note that page 11 through, what is it, 19 is the management discussion and analysis. That kind of gives you a general, a little bit easier read than actually looking at the financial statements.
Yeah, it does a couple comparative things. So
Yeah,
it's kinda
to
neat
look at
at.
from last year to this year. So if you want to actually see that part, you're welcome to read it.
Writing that down.
But we recommend approval from our office.
I move to approve and accept the audit of the financial statements.
Second?
Any questions for Rebecca or Pauline or?
I just have
Yes, sir.
one question, comment. Obviously, as a municipality, we're required to do this annually, and then that goes forward to the state and is filed with the state to stay in compliance.
Department of Legislative Audit, yes. And then when the federal dollars are over 750,000, we have to comply with the federal compliance.
Yep, Federal Clearinghouse, so that they are tracking those dollars through the state level. It kind of, you can kind of see what agencies on that page 64 pass you money. Sometimes they're coming directly from the feds, and then sometimes they're coming through the South Dakota agency. That's kind of new with that pass-through entity column in there. It's giving a direct line for the federal and the state level to communicate a little more when they pass the dollars to the state and the state passes the dollars to you.
Thank you. Thanks for your work.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to 8.2, consider rate additions to the solid waste rate resolution. Dale, do you want to tackle this, or do you want Pauline to tackle this, or? Okay, come on up. You have Dale Forden, our solid waste superintendent.
Mayor and Commissioner, I guess, Commissioners, we've kind of changed a lot in our operation out there where we are already doing these roll-offs, the 30s and the 20-yarders at a couple places now. We have 4 out there. We're looking at the monthly rent rate on those, what we've been doing is making them cycle every week and then charging that pickup rate is what we've been doing until we had it established. So we think that the rate that we're putting in there for the monthly rate on those containers will help us buy more as the time comes and we need those. With that, then part of that is the mixed load in those for the commercial loads. And if I have some pictures, but everybody could about imagine if a shop is cleaning out and they want to roll off, bring the roll off and they don't sort. So therefore, we end up doing that on the floor in there. So to encourage them to sort it, there's a different rate if you're sorting it out. If not, this is your mixed load rate is what we're doing. We definitely want to encourage everybody to try and do that pre-sorting prior. There will be, though, some pushback on some of it because the mixed loads also have contaminants that we cannot take. So those may be rejected if we find chemicals, steel, concrete that is going to damage our equipment, especially $1 million in a baler. If we start seeing that, we will definitely have to just tell them that, you know, either you clean it up or we're not going to take them anymore. So, in the past, we've been doing a sorting rate of $50 on a customer coming through, and that just doesn't cover the manpower or the equipment that we're trying to sort through these loads. So, we're not looking at the individuals coming in with pickup loads. That's not what we're talking. We're talking the big 30-yard containers that come in, and all of a sudden they got half pallets and the rest is trash, so we end up trying to pull the pallets through it and get those out separated. Or tires, we've got other things that end up in there, so I can answer any questions if you have.
Just gonna quick note that the mixed load rate is $200 per ton. And then the roll-up container monthly rates is the 20 cubic yard container is $600 a month. 30 cubic yard container is $800 a month.
And those are for monthly rents, not necessarily, and then they still have to cycle. When I've talked to all the vendors, we're still expecting that we're gonna cycle those once a week. So we have that also pick up, dump, and they pay that flat rate. If the loads are mixed on those containers, they pay the higher rate. If it's all municipal solid waste, it's the $90 a ton, meaning we don't have to mess with it, we just nail it right through the baler. So.
Well, I guess, now that we have the explanation, I guess let's have a motion first before we.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
I'd second that.
Okay, any questions or
I
comments?
just want to make it known that I'm going to recuse myself from this vote, as this does directly affect my dumpster business.
Okay. Yeah.
Must be my night for clarification on stuff, but, so lay this out for me. If I'm a business owner and I take in or I rent a 220-yard container for $600, you pick it up once a week, and then I'm also charged for
My pickup.
the contents of that.
And us coming and picking it up. It's $175 for me to come and hook up and bring back once a week, or as many times as you need. And then you pay also the contents of that.
Okay.
At $90 a ton, or, and that is the actual going rate right now of what we're using on our tipping. For us to run it through our baler and ship it to Pier, it's $90 a ton. If we have manpower to sort it, that's that other $110 per
I see.
ton to sort that
So
through.
if it's a mixed load, you guys get it out there and,
We dump it on the floor and bring in the equipment and scatter it out, separate it out.
okay,
So-
that makes sense, yeah. Okay, thank you.
And sometimes, Dale, it takes a number of people and a number of
Right.
hours to go through those mixed loads.
Yeah.
So it's,
And the thing is that
Time-consuming.
we've never really had the ability to do this prior to what we have for a structure now. And there is a need, you know, to try and get somebody just to get it cleaned out, to get those properties cleaned out. But If the majority of it is rubble, we just ask, we want that cost to make it so that, let's sort it, as opposed to just throw it in there and take it. So with that $200 starting, we'll see how things go, but some of them loads could be up into that, $500-600. So at that time, they're thinking, well, it'd only been $35 if I took the rubble out. So that's what we're trying to encourage, is to do that, as opposed to, well, I'll pay the additional $60 to have them sort it, or
Yeah.
55, and not mess with it, so.
You still, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna ask, so, like, let's say someone, how are you determining what's mixed? If it's all in one, so if they try to put all their pallets in one half and all their trash in the other half, but that's in a
Yep. We will-
roll-off, are you gonna say that's,
Well,
there's gonna
if
be
they have-
some cross-contamination there, no
and-
matter what?
And we do have some contractors with roll-offs that do have that, and they have it held so that, let's just say the back end's the garbage. So therefore, we can open that back end and they have something holding, a load binder that'll hold that front half of the load. As long as they've done some sorting on it, it's not that we don't have to bring in the equipment and the extra manpower. We're not gonna be just out there trying to rack up the money. So it'll be utilized, and otherwise I'll be before you with people complaining.
Yeah.
So we do try and, with people bringing it out, if they have it sorted somewhat, like I said, the contractors, a lot of the contractors come in with large trucks, and they got all the stuff bagged up that comes in the building. They'll drive through the building, throw the bags off, and then take the other material out to roll. And that's already going on, it has been.
So I know your commissioner is the queen of communication, so do we have a plan to make sure all the employers, or the commercial users know how, all these particulars?
Most, and most of the time, the ones that we're working with, Sean, is.
I did last week. No.
No, I know better than that.
We normally do try and bring them in individually and talk to them and explain, what we're going through and why. Because it is kind of a learning curve also for us. And, because before we used to just reject them. And then they had to go all the way to Mitchell. It was the closest place they could go. So, this way we're trying to help them so that they can get that property cleaned up a little better. And if they can sort through it, that's all more to them. And most of them, I think, are gonna understand that.
And like you said, if they're not using a roll-off, if they're bringing a pickup or a bigger vehicle, they still have the option to self-sort at your
Yep.
facility.
A lot of them with the bigger dump trailers too, already have those dividers put in them and stuff. And we have talked to some of the others about putting a divider in there, and that way, making sure that everybody knows the garbage goes on one side of the divider. So that's the biggest thing, is the garbage that we don't want in the rubble area.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you see a lot of the issue is when somebody's cleaning out a house. Doesn't matter if it's lumber or household garbage or furniture, it's all going in there, because they got one day to clean out a house or whatever it looks like.
Chemicals. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dale, but I think the big thing we want to do is encourage people to sort before
Right.
they bring it out, because it does take a lot of manpower out there to go through. I was out there one day, and yeah, there was some interesting things in there that all needed to be sorted, and
Yeah.
just can't have those things go through that equipment. And so yes, we're on a mission to educate on recycling, hazardous waste, sorting.
And liquids are banned anyway, so that's a state law and federal actual. So if there's chemicals mixed in there, we are not even supposed to be, so a lot of times, and we have that happen throughout the community. We call them up, we know who came in, and they come back out, take the chemical. We don't even have a place to store them. There's no way we can store certain materials out there, so they have to take them back.
Hazardous waste collection day is
That's
coming
right.
up.
That's
We'll
right.
talk about that.
I just want to quick add too, that these rates, being this, we're doing this as a resolution, for rates will be included on our annual rates resolution in December, so we can look at those rates annually.
Yeah, and like I said, this is kind of a, get it out there, start working with it, seeing where we end up on the revenue side. So we may adjust them too, we'll see how things go, but.
Yep. Okay, good. Anybody else got anything? Let's do a roll call vote.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey recused himself, Robish, Mayor
Aye.
Robish.
Aye, thank you. Thank you, Dale. 8.3, consider request by Chad Schroeder, the Parks and Rec Director, to proceed with repairs of the Lazy River recirculation system. Chad cannot be with us here tonight, so Commissioner Bragg, you want to take this?
Yep, obviously Chad would like to be here, but he's at the Parks and Rec conference right now,
Yep.
So, we have had an issue for some years, quite a few years actually, we knew that there was a leak. The main reason we knew it was there, it kept presenting as sand in the bottom of the Lazy River. So if you've ever been out there and seen that, we knew that there was some sort of infiltration coming from a leak. We have in the past made attempts to find it. Some of the repairs that we needed to make this year in the winterizing, we took that opportunity to cut in, and we were doing some repairs in that area anyway, so it was a good time. We shot our camera down through there, and we're finally able to find an elbow that has a crack in it. So we believe that this is the source of most of that. Olson Construction has done quite a bit of work. They've been kind of our main contractor. Obviously, we had a bill for them earlier. They work with the city in general, but in particular on Splash Central, they've been kind of our go-to. They really know very well where everything's at out there and have done a lot of work. And so just looking to do something out of budget because we could do the work this fall and have it done so it won't delay next year. If you also recall, in our budget, we do have resurfacing that we're gonna be doing that was in the budget. We also wanna make sure that we have all this work done before we do that, because obviously you wouldn't wanna resurface some of the stuff and then still have issues with drainage. So you see in the listing, the up to $30,000, that would be kind of a worst case scenario. That would be if they get in there and really have to cut quite a bit of concrete out and replace significant amount of pipes. The hope is that it can be done for less than that, maybe significantly less, but we just needed to go into it with worst case scenario on the book. So that's why, that's the number that's there. But again, the feeling is we can get this done this fall, get it all buttoned up and ready to go. So next year, when we do the resurfacing, we'll be ready to open on time, and we should hopefully finally have this issue solved.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Just want to note quick that it'll be coming from second penny funds for the reserves.
Okay.
Should that be part of the motion then, if we're approving it,
Yeah.
to supplement the second penny reserve?
Okay, and I would present what I just listed there in the form of a motion, including that funding.
Okay.
I'd second that.
Okay. Any questions for Commissioner Bragg? Roll call vote, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. 8.4, the city offices will be closed on October 13th in observance of Columbus Day. And 8.5, our Queen of Communication, I believe is what it was, will present us with the hours at the solid waste.
Thank you, Mayor Robish. The Solid Waste Department rubble site will be closed Monday, October 13th in observance of Columbus Day and Native American Day. Monday's garbage, recycling, and grass collection will be done on Wednesday, October 15th. Please remember to have your containers out the night before, as trucks will not be rerouted. If you have questions, please call 605-353-8542. I have that number memorized. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you very much. With that